understand that you're both good and bad, and you're both light and dark, and you have both sides. So I need you to understand. And what I want you to do is embrace both sides. And when you do that, that's when you become the most effective and you are moving with authority. So in the title of this discussion, I want you to be hard, but yet flexible.
Oh shit. Here we go again.
We are dual minded creatures. We would like to think that we're generally speaking that we're good natured people or we're good people. But if you're truly being honest with yourself, you would know that you're not good and you're not bad, or at least you're not all good or you're not all bad, and nor do you want to be. Think about this. If you were just to stop and not judge yourself and only view yourself from your true self, or from the reality of yourself, from your own lenses, you can accurately know and be aware that you are both good and bad depending on the circumstances. And this is where that line that is drawn, or that we draw in any given situation, things can get very cloudy. And I'm going to give you examples of this. For instance, let's say someone intentionally hurt your dog. Think of the movie John Wick. Or someone hurt the person that you loved and had ill intentions. As you can see, when those lines are crossed, that's when things can get very cloudy. I would say that if you are willing to not judge yourself as much as you judge the situation, this is where things actually start to get quite interesting. Now, I'm just painting a picture because I just want to show you that you do have a dual nature, and we call this dual nature duality. And duality is part of our humanness. But a lot of us judge ourselves based off of our successes and our failures. We often look at the opposite side and not simultaneously look at the other side. But there is both two sides of the same coin. There's an equal and opposite reaction. And I just want you to understand that the pendulum swings in both directions with the same amount of equal force. So that would mean that the amount of force applied to one side or one direction, it would swing back to the other side in the same fashion. What I need you to understand is you can't have extreme highs without often having extreme lows. And we know this for a fact through physiology. And in physiology, the body is always trying to gain what we call homeostasis. So as above, so below, as in nature, so as it is in life. We tend to judge ourselves on the extremes of one side without often looking at the other side. Truth is, when we don't embrace both sides of our nature, we are only loving a partial truth. We're not loving the whole truth, or we're not loving our authentic self. And you don't know who you truly are until you understand that you're both good and bad, and you're both light and dark, and you have both sides. So I need you to understand. And what I want you to do is embrace both sides. And when you do that, that's when you become the most effective and you are moving with authority. So in the title of this discussion, I want you to be hard, but yet flexible. We embrace one, but we don't embrace the other, and vice versa. And then we have the audacity to sit here and then we pass judgment on another because they don't fit our ideals or our particular narrative. And I want to just stress to you, don't you think that's kind of hypocritical? He who cast the first stone, let's go for that. and let's see how that's working out for you. But for the purposes of this discussion, I want you to try to use your duality, to use this dual nature, understand your light and both your dark. Be whole and be complete, because that's a concept. And when you understand the concept, you can't first know up without understanding down. And you can't first know the darkness without understanding the light. And I can use many examples of this. But what I want you to take from that is there's always the opposite or the opposing force. So as in the title, you have to be hard yet flexible, which is opposite of one another. The hard would be or would represent unyielding, unmovable, whereas flexibility would represent softness, suppleness, and yielding. You would think that these two sides are opposing ideas and wouldn't have much in common with each other. But as in yin and yang, they both have aspects of one another inside each other. Yin energy, which represents softness, the cold, flowing, or what we call feminine energy, has aspects of the yang energy. And yang energy represents firmness, hot, or masculine energy. Yang energy, which has aspects of the yin energy, also in the opposite, yin energy, which has aspects of the yang energy. When you look at those symbols, you see that they all flow into both halves of the symbol flow into each other. And there's a dot in each one of the halves, and each one of the dots has the color representative of the other. Although this is very simple, has a lot of esoteric meaning. But I just want to focus on the simplicity of this, and so I can make it less complicated for you. Obviously, I can go a little bit deeper as far as the meaning, but for the purposes of this video, it doesn't matter too much. But be hard. Have some mental toughness, some mental fortitude. Challenge the negative thinking by choosing your thoughts carefully. If anything that you take from this video, I want you to learn how to choose your thoughts. And you can choose, and you can, and even getting deeper than that, you can actually watch your thoughts, and you begin to be the witness and the observer of the thinking and all of the neurotic activity that's going on. And when I talk about neurotic, your mind would give you both narratives. But if you're not careful, we tend to go with the narrative that's seems more normal or is part of our programming or our general programming. And I challenge you to go against the grain, and I challenge you to choose the alternative. Choosing the alternative would be stop trying to focus on the things that are out of your control. I want you to learn how to focus on forgiveness. Those are the things that you can control, which means giving yourself grace, bringing yourself to awareness of the situations and start to try to understand those situations. And if you would have knew better, you could have done better, which is, in that statement alone, is both hard and flexible at the same time. Learn how to develop good habits and willpower that is surrounding that newfound awareness. Be conscious. Be mindful. Set boundaries for yourself, but always choose yourself, because you can't be good for someone else if you're not first good for yourself. But I'm going to give you the opposing thought. After you draw that line in the sand, like we were discussing earlier, you can't be all one-sided, because what would happen, life will create situations where it will balance you. And if you're not careful by balancing yourself with the lessons that you have learned, it will create chaos for you, or what would seem like is chaos. So how do you balance yourself? Remain calm in situations. Surrender or surrender it. Drop the weight. Let it go, because you can't change it. And I don't want you to try to change it anyway. Obviously, you can change yourself in response to it, but don't carry the dead weight around. Let go of it, because what you're really doing when you're letting go is you're letting go of the perceived control, because you're trying to control being hurt. But that's just an illusion anyway. So accept it. Move on. Let it flow through you. And what will happen is you might notice that energy comes up, and that's what we call emotions. And that's okay. And you need to process those emotions, but not respond to the emotions. And when you do that, that's what happens and that's what you need to be free. Be open to your intuition being your guide by letting your heart, or allowing your heart to heal you. And then from there, it will tell you what to do. Don't be so closed off. And what I mean by closed off is not allowing yourself to drop the weight. Understand that you're only human. And when you don't do that, and when you don't let it go, you're closing yourself off to the experiences of every part of life, both the good, the bad, and sometimes it can be ugly. So embrace it. Because when you embrace it, it only makes you stronger and you're wiser. My name is Prince Williams, the real Prince Williams, and I'm here to help you flow and grow. Thank you for watching.